Hello and welcome. My name is Kylan Hunt, co-founder of Kylan Hunt & Company and also the co-founder of the TLS Advantage program. Now, many of you have considered the TLS Advantage program because I know you've seen the email and I know that you're looking at it wondering, is this going to be valuable? My friends, price will always be an issue in the absence of value, and I'm going to show you some of that as we get towards the end of this. However, I want you to see the biggest value of the TLS Advantage program. There's really three main things that you're going to take away from this. Number one, increased influence. When you think about increasing your influence, my friend, what will that do for your business? What will that do for your ability to develop new leads and even to develop your team as your business continues to grow? Increasing in influence will always be a win for you. The second one is increasing your impact. Which of you don't want to make an impact? Right? I know you want to make an impact. I want to make an impact. My friend, you want to make an impact because that's what we're here for. We're here on this planet to make a difference in somebody else's life. And then ultimately, because your family is investing in you and your family's investing in your time away from your family. So when you are invested in making an impact in other people's lives, you want to be able to make some income so that you can actually impact your own family and your own household. And that, my friends, is part of being in the sales business. So advantage number one, increasing influence. I'm going to show you three different things that are going to be extremely valuable as you increase your influence. Number one, influence over yourself. When you begin to realize that we influence ourselves more than we influence anybody else, it's a game changer. But there are certain things that we have to understand about ourselves, get to know ourselves a little bit more before we can truly influence ourselves at the highest level. And my friends, that's key. The second influencer is the internet. See, selling today is totally different than it was 10 years ago or 15 years ago. When I started in the sales space, I wasn't competing with the information age. I wasn't competing with everybody else's opinion that all of your customers are getting online. I wasn't competing with that. A lot of us are competing with that today. Most of us, in fact, I'm going to say all of us, are competing with the internet at some level. The next one is competition. When you think about influence, the only reason that your competition has any business at all is because they have an influence on a customer. Now, price can be an influence. Yeah, I hear that all the time, but there's no greater influence than another human being. And when you learn that you are the key influencing factor in your business, it will change your business. Okay? So think about that. And advantage number two for the TLS Advantage program is the impact side. So what are the kind of things that we're going to impact? Obviously, new leads. You need new leads if you're going to grow your business and make a bigger impact. If all you're doing is serving the existing customers that you have, you're missing a huge opportunity to make an impact. So we're going to show you some very easy ways to do what the world says is prospecting. However, I don't like to be prospected. I'm pretty sure you don't like to be prospected. So we're going to show you a better way, easier way, more effective way to grow new leads. We're also going to talk about delivering higher value. One of the things I've learned as I worked with different seed companies and people in the water business and all over the agriculture industry, I've learned that most people are leaving a lot of money on the table. There is value that they are delivering that the farmers are very unaware of and they don't account for. So we're going to show you how to identify those values, put a value to it, and use that value to increase your influence, obviously for new leads, and get this, renewal business. Renewal business. How much of your business relies on renewals? So when we think about increasing our renewal rates, that's huge. When we can increase renewal rates, we have time, effort, and energy to put into creating new leads. So that is another big piece. Now the third one, this is where it gets personal. It gets personal for you, and that is income. Reduce support demand. When your influence goes up, when we do certain things a certain way to improve the processes of expectation and deliverables, guess what? Support is reduced and support demand is reduced. Think about how much time that could bring to you. That is a big one. When you are reducing support demand, your income is going to go up. I promise you that. You're going to maintain better prices. See, in a lot of times in agriculture, and I've seen this over and over and over again, we keep racing to the bottom of the barrel to see who's going to be the cheapest price. When you're the cheapest price, you're not making any money. And you know who suffers? You do. You suffer. Your family suffers. When you're reducing price to get a sale over a competitor, it's going to hurt you. The buyer, it doesn't hurt as much. It hurts you. So when you start thinking about how we maintain better prices, when we increase our influence is what's going to allow you to keep your price up there and be price competitive. That's going to maintain your income stream, okay? So we want to set better prices and we want to add more value. Again, I was talking about the value adds a little bit earlier, but when you are looking at maintaining price, and you make a little more money, you can add more value to your customers. But if your customers don't see that, if you don't see that, there's no possibility of adding more value. You cannot add value if you don't have the revenue stream to do so. So we're going to talk about how to do that with influence. Now, price is an issue in the absence of value. I know that. I learned that when I was a teenager. You know who taught me? My grandfather. This is a picture of my grandfather, and he was very much in his older days, obviously. But my grandfather was the best mentor of my entire life. In the 80s, if you're familiar with the 80s, any of you that grew up in the 80s, you are very familiar with the challenges of the 80s. My grandfather became a very wealthy farmer in the 80s. He was a farmer and an entrepreneur, and he became excessively wealthy. And he taught me this thing. He said, price is an issue in the absence of value. He started farming when he was in the 8th grade, and he farmed till the end of his life. And my friends, he knew what it was to deliver value. Now, here's a question that I have for you. Mr. Warren Buffett says the greatest investment that you can make is an investment in yourself. So will you invest in you? That's the question. Will you invest in you? In this email, there is a link that you can go and select the TLS Advantage program in Kearney on the 25th and 26th. Now, I know you're going to look at that price and you're going to go, it's too much. I can't pay that much. My friend, how many products will you have to sell? How much volume will you have to sell to make that up? Very little, I'm willing to bet. So if you think about it, what are you willing to invest in yourself? How much will you invest in yourself to make sure that you can increase your income, your impact, and your influence? When your influence goes up, my friend, all the rest of them fall into place by demand. So that's what I wanted to share with you, my friends, the TLS Advantage program. This TLS Advantage program, Transformational Learning Systems, will change your life. It will transform how you think into your business. It will transform how you do your business. It will transform the profit level of your business. All right, my friends, I do look forward to seeing you at this TLS event. If you can't make this one, we're going to have others coming up soon, but you don't want to be behind on this. You want to be making an impact as soon as you can. All right, my friends, God bless. We will see you in Kearney, October 25th and 26th.